right. Hello, beautiful people. If you're wondering if I always wear the same shirt every day, I have 12 of them. Okay. But here's what I have dropping down. And this is something I've never done on my YouTube. And I think it's the most important skill. Something that I want everybody to understand right away is having an enormous average order actually isn't the best thing in the world. Because a lot of times what can happen when somebody has a giant average order is their closing percentage is low. And what I mean by this is if somebody sells a homemaker, nothing, a Siggy, nothing, well, their average order is about $1,200, but they're 2 for 10 and their total sales is $3,000. When someone over here sells a homemaker, like list, starter set, like list, trimmer, homemaker, well, they're 10 for 10. They've sold about $5,000 at Cutco. Who would you rather be? I'd rather be the person making all the sales. And so being able to drop down is such a skill and such an art that when your closing percentage is 80, 90, 95%, the job gets really, really fun. And when you close deals, it's also easier to get recs. And everything is easier when you're making more sales, right? I think we could all agree. So the art of that is dropping down. I want you to think big, always try to close big, have a big mindset, but understand that more people don't buy sets than do, unless you're a goat in this business, okay? If you're newer, 1 out of 10 will buy a homemaker. So you have to drop down in a way that is effective, in a way that serves the customer. So there's 3 parts of this. The first part of dropping down like a pro is asking great questions, okay? So asking great questions, what does that mean? It means that after the galley set, you ask this, hey, would you ever consider adding Cutco to your collection? That is such an open question. And the answer is only yes. Would you ever consider, not would you today, would you ever consider it, of adding Cutco, adding it to your collection that you already have? Would you ever consider adding Cutco to your collection? Yeah, that's a Brandon Brown question. I didn't think of that. Brandon Brown, look him up on Vector Connect. Would you ever consider adding Cutco to your collection? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, if you got Cutco, then would you get it in a block set or would you get it in a piece package? Now, whatever their answer is, it tells you what to do next. If they say a block set, show them the starter sets in a block set. Show the essentials and show the studio. But if they say a piece package, perfect. Then you can show the starter sets that come in trays and you can just call them piece packages and say, perfect, Cutco came out with a piece package just for you. So ask them, block or no block, because what it does is it limits your options to show them and you become more of a solution finder. Here's another great question. When you transition to the like list, say, hey, if you could wave a magic wand and own anything Cutco, what would you get? You could wave a magic wand and own anything Cutco, what would you get? Okay, another Brandon Brown. And what does it do? It opens the customer. Okay, well, if I could get anything, I'd get an ultimate set. Boom, now you know that they would actually get the ultimate set. Go handle those objections. What they'd probably say is they're going to pick out a couple things and boom, you can start making a list. Let's say that they want table knives. This is how you make a list bigger. This is the last thing I'll say about asking great questions. Ask big questions. So if someone says, oh, we'd get some table knives, here's how you would phrase this. Is 8 table knives enough? Or could you see yourself having guests over sometimes and needing like 16, 32, 64, 128 of them? Oh, 8's enough. Oh, you actually would only want 4? Okay, great. Notice how 4 seems so small now. Instead of, yeah, they come in a set of 4 or 8. Oh, 4 is too many, right? It's a whole different way to look at it. Okay, next thing, number 2 is listen and understand. So number 1 is ask great questions. Number 2 is listen and understand. And understand is the key part of that. Active listening is a skill I want you to look up on YouTube. Look up active listening. What is it? How do I do it? When someone says something, your response is, what I'm hearing is blank. Is that right? Clarifying what you heard, because a lot of times what will happen is the customer will say, well, no, actually this, and they'll start to actually give you the objection, because in a sales situation, the customer will always have their guard up unless you're really good at rapport or unless it's a direct family member. And so the first objection is usually always a smoke screen. And so when you clarify it, okay, what I'm hearing is you need to talk to your husband first. Is that right? And they'll say, yes, because blank. And boom, you're starting to actually get the objection out of the customer. So active listening, what I'm hearing is blank. Is that right? Am I hearing you right when you say that? This unravels the true problem. It starts with rapport, especially cooking rapport. Watch one of my other YouTube videos, how to close 90% of the time on great cooking rapport. It's one of my most viewed ones. If you check it out, share it while you're at it. Like it, like this one right now. Subscribe. Okay, but number two, the last point of this is listen with the intention to learn. Don't just listen with the intention to object or handle the objection. You first have to listen with the intention to learn and uncover a problem. And then as the salesperson, your job is actually being a solution finder. Okay. Number three, the third and final point is always handle the objection with love and care. Handling an objection is not you versus the customer. Handling it is like handling a child, right? With love and tender care, tender love and care, TLC, baby. But when you get an objection, do not ask for the order again until you've actually handled it. And what it means by handling it is the customer feels comfortable. If the customer gives you an objection and you don't take the time to listen, actively repeat back what you heard, and then actually handle that objection, their answer will still be no. A mistake I hear people make a lot of times is the customer will say, well, it's too expensive. It just costs too much. And then what will they do? They'll offer a bunch of free stuff. So great, you're giving a bunch of free stuff. It doesn't change the price, which doesn't change the objection. It also doesn't change the feeling that the customer has, because now they just feel sold to even more. So you have to handle the objection first, and you have to handle it with love and care. So what does that mean? How do you do that? You appreciate their feelings and you honor their concerns. So some common objections would be, I need to talk to my husband. Okay, great. Sounds like you need to talk to your husband. Is that right? Yes, I do. Okay, great. What exactly is it that you need to talk to him about? They'll start to tell you, oh, it's the price is this, or the price or that, or it's, I think it's just too many pieces. We won't use them all. You're getting the true objection. Okay. So active listen and actually handle it. So let's say they say, we just need to think about it. Okay. Sounds like you need to think about it. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, what is it you need to think about? Well, we just need to think about if it's worth it. Okay, cool. So it sounds like you need to think about if it's worth it. If it's worth it as far as what? Well, if we just use it all. Okay, so it sounds like your concern is more so that you don't know if you'd use all the pieces. Is that right? Well, no, we know we'd use them all, but we just don't know if we'd, need them all right now. Oh, okay, got it. So you think you'd use all the pieces. Well, let me ask you this, Mrs. Jones. If you think you'd use all the pieces, do you like Cutco? Yeah, we like it. Okay. Could you fit $1,999 in the budget today? No, we couldn't do that. Okay. Could you fit $429? Well, we could fit $429. Okay. Well, so it sounds like you like it. You fit in the budget. You'd use all the pieces. Why don't you just go ahead and try it out, right? So it's handling the objection more and asking questions. Here's the last little key. It's called the 2-second rule. When the customer gives you an objection or gives you anything at all, do not open your mouth until you've counted to 2 in your head. This is the 2-second rule. And what it does is it makes you bite your tongue, because a lot of times as humans, we're trying to come up with the response for someone. This is an everyday life thing. We're trying to come up with a response before we actually internalize what the person said. So a lot of times we're not even hearing people. We're just speaking and we're waiting our turn instead of listening to what they're saying. 2-second rule, if you use it in a demo, you'll start to hear objections more. What can also happen is you start waiting 2 seconds to reply and the customer will go like this. Yeah, well, I just need to think about it because I just don't know if we'll use all the pieces. We use them all, but what'll happen is they'll just start spinning. Spinning and spiraling is a really good thing when your customer does that, because what it's doing is it's allowing them to go through the buying process. And a lot of times as salespeople, we don't allow our customers the space to do that. This is all so important with dropping down. Number 1, ask great questions. Number 2, listen and understand. And number 3, always handle the objection with love and care. And when you do this through a drop down process and you ask and you have great cooking rapport, you can start to find solutions for the customers. And that's what dropping down is. It's finding solutions. So I take a lot of pride in that. My average order is not $1,500, but my closing ratio is like 90%. Why? Is because I take the time to find the best thing for each customer. It's like playing a game. When the customer says no to the homemaker and the galley said, it's game on. How can I best serve this person in this moment? And that's something I take a lot of pride in. You have to listen and find the solution for them. The number 1 thing to understand is that their life is better with Cutco. And you can only find the solution with them if you allow yourself to listen to them talk. That's the key to dropping down. Like, subscribe, watch for more. We'll see you next time.